We have to ask ourselves, why do Australians hate old people? Now, people are going to say, what a horrible thing to say. But actually, that's what Bill Shorten and Liberals and all these parliamentarians, they assume there's enough hatred for old people, or for people in general, not just old people in general out there, that they can arrange policies that actually make life difficult for older people or for people who post employment. I call it retirement or pension age. I call it post-employment because life is not just about being employed to the corporate system. You're just a number, and the life is just about a being. A human being is no longer an individual that they should care for. It's a number they can make money out of in one way or the bond market or in the labour market or through the labour job agencies and all that things that people have to go through trials to get a job and all that stuff. So that's all they are. All you are is a commodity to the people, and if they no longer have got any use to you, like use for you, they get to 65, and you'd rather do something else than go and slave all their existence. That is nothing more annoys a politician than the idea that people don't get to 65 and don't die immediately. That it really irritates them. It irritates the Liberals so much. They're always guilty in the corporate system they live in. They're always guilty of having no respect for those who've actually worked for throughout their life and need or maybe want some leisure time at the end of it when they're still fit and healthy to enjoy their leisure time. Either what the Liberals did or tried to do is get people to work till they die, till they're 70 or near death. And that's even never mind. They might have started work a long, long time ago and actually done some real work, whereas the Liberal Party between them have not added an ounce of work between them of any productive use throughout the whole of their existence amongst all of them. Yet these same people were laughing at the idea of getting people who do actually work and produce the goods and the services and look after the old people or whatever in the country. They were laughing at the idea they would have to sit in traffic jams until they were 70. Stuffed in trains and all the other stuff they like to people. They're laughing. Oh, it's a good joke because they're flying over or getting driven around, chauffeur-driven around while they're drinking taxpayer-funded wine in the chauffeur-driven cars. Piss as farts, not giving a stuff, but all the people having to sit in traffic jams that they're creating by putting more and more people into the country in an totally unsustainable manner, economically wise, and for many, many reasons. The reason I'm saying that Australians hate the old people, because I'm being sarcastic, because that's exactly what the issue was before the election. Then the Bill Shorten is saying he wants to punish those who've got franking credits for some arrangements, which I don't quite understand, and he doesn't quite understand, but Paul Keating put those in to give people a bit more income at the end of their working life. And if they worked hard and invested or worked with companies that invested the money for them, there's some kind of franking, which I don't frankly totally understand. But the thing is, he hates those old people getting this reward. And so he's going to take it away from them. The worst part about all of this, the very worst part, is they say, oh, most people want something done about climate change. What that means is causing old people to freeze in their homes by lifting electricity prices so high they can't afford them, or they can't afford to live in their homes, or can't afford food, or can't afford basic comforts in life. And that's what you say. When these people, despicable people running in this country, Australia, say, oh, majority of people want something done about climate change, which doesn't make sense because there's not much Australia can do about climate change. It can't do much about anything, really. It has to do, even the internet, whatever it does, it tries to sort of as a struggle with getting anything done on a practical age. How is it going to get something like a climate change altered? It's beyond the pale when you think about it, how ridiculous it is what they're saying. But that is a metaphor. The hidden meaning is people want something done about climate change, which there's no real poll on that. There's no actual intellectual poll on climate change. What can we do about climate change, or can we consider what China is doing in regard to climate change compared with Australia? You can't ask an actual intellectual question, what then allows people to identify some sort of logic or illogical, in the illogical idiom within the old political atmosphere in regards to climate itself, because it is all an excuse then to cause suffering into all people and to create poverty amongst young people as well, because everyone pays electricity bills, yet they've doubled the cost of electricity for no gain. There's been no gain at all by doubling the cost of electricity over the last 10 years or so, which extracts a lot of money out of society. The society has used its credit cards more, he struggles to pay its rent, he struggles to pay its power bills, and people are frightened to put the heaters on now. In this country, the wealthiest country in the world per capita of resources, abundance of resource, overwhelming abundance of resource, people are now afraid to put the heaters on because the cost of the cost of that will come, and they won't be able to pay a doctor's bill or dentist bill or change the tyres on the car, and all these things may suddenly come along. A bill may come along, a major car repair, and suddenly you're in really up the poop street because your power bills are so high because you wanted to keep warm in winter. And that's what the real meaning of, you want something done about climate change. Well, they all said they want something done about climate change. So we'll freeze the old people to death and not get rid of the people who caused CO2 to be wrecking the world in the first place. We'll blame the old people because they're the ones who did it all, and they're the ones who inflated the price of houses, and they deserve the punishment now due to them that's being meted out by the left and the liberals and whoever is involved with this, who are saying to the young people, it's no longer have to respect the old people for working hard. We go and rob the bloody bastards because there's bugger all they can do about it. And that's why the liberals didn't back a Royal Commission to banking, because he supported the granny robbers in the bank robbing the grannies, and now the Labour Party is again robbing grannies and grandfathers with the franking credits. You can see what's going on here. They're disenfranchising the young people, dividing young people away from the old people, and causing young people to look at old people with disrespect. And that is the beginning of a breakdown of society. That's a sort of culling in a way, a culling of the social fabric itself, a culling of the culture of itself. By dividing the young from the old, by saying to the young people, you don't listen to those people because what? You may learn something that the politicians don't want you to learn, like wisdom, work hard and save. Don't demand everything now. Put some effort in and you will get reward. All those sort of things. Because when these people say fair go, like Bill Shorten uses it all the time, and the same blokes who's taking money off people who really had a bloody go, these people got a franking credit, have actually put effort in to get that extra. So he hates the fact they put effort in, so he's punishing them for putting effort in, because he's never put any effort in his life, ever, other than to sort of, you learn to use a spin and tone and clever use of, well, not very clever use of words, but nonetheless, that's about all he's ever done in his life. Take advantage of situations for his own betterment. Hardly, and what he's doing now, that Greens, the despicable people in the Greens, and I bunch the Liberals and Nationals with a lot, actually they all in it together against the old people, because the old people, they hate the fact that they actually take a pension. They despise it because everyone's now into trying making people who've worked hard all their life, worked till 1965, they continue to working now, and work from 1970 and 1960, right through to now continue working. Now you're going to get punished and not be able to put your heater on in the night time when it's freezing cold, because we want to save the climate, and that's what it's all about, euthanasia through economic deprivation. And that's what it is, because old people get cold in their bones, they get flu, and they sort of find it difficult to recover. Right, unless you wear, like me, you wear lots of woolly stuff. I learned to say warm and very, very cold days in Yorkshire, but even then in the 1950s we were never cold in our house because we had a big raging fire going of coal in 2 rooms, so that kept us really warm. That's so great that I had coal to keep me warm. Now I haven't got coal to keep me warm in my house. So in my house, rather than risk the heating bill, put my heater on. I think, oh God, I'm scared to put my heating bill on because I don't know what it's going to be. Because I can end up so big by putting my heater on. I'm living in fear of putting my heater on in the wealthiest country in the world in resources, Australia. And there's thousands and thousands of people like myself living in fear. Look, gloves in the house, scarf, beanie, in my house. This is in my house. This is outside. I'm in my house, saving myself freezing to death and getting the flu. I don't want flu. I don't want a flu injection either. But the thing is, I live like this inside my house rather than put my heater on because I don't want to. What for? Get ripped off because it's free. Oh, free energy in the wind. They said free energy in the sun, so they put the bill up twice as much. Free what? The free end of people who've been taken the fool of, made a fool out of by politicians, taking the piss, if you like, out of people saying, "Why do you want something done about climate change?" Yes, so that's a signal to go and make it very, very difficult for poor people, single mothers. That's for sure. They hate single mothers. They hate people from single mothers because they have less income, so they struggle to pay power bills, they struggle to pay rates, and they hate aged people as well, because no use for those people. These corporate people in politics have got no use for those sort of people. Only people they can use is the one they can fleece and take tax off and sort of ride on the back of. Australia used to ride on the sheep's back. Now the Australian politicians ride on the workers' back and no longer have any idea whatsoever what this country Australia is about, or the very idea of what a fair go is, because the people who had a go throughout the working life are now getting hammered by the people who've never had a go in their life. And that's not a fair go, is it? It's not even remotely fair income. Bye.